Hey everybody, it's Joe Artis Horn. Today I'm going to be laying down the voiceover part of what will become the trailer for my father, Dr. Thomas R. Horn's last book that we are hoping to reveal in March. But it's been a long time since I've done a voiceover like this, and it made me feel nostalgic. And I kind of laughed out loud when I came up to my attic to fire all of this old equipment up, and I thought I should probably call our head of media and see if they have any interest at all in doing a behind the scenes, kind of a historical look at where all of these voiceovers that you've seen, if you've followed SkyWatch, the ministry, or Defender Publishing, where they've come from. And it also kind of begs the question that I've gotten for years and years and years, and I've not necessarily addressed this in public, but I'll go ahead and just reveal that I do a lot of the voiceovers for the Defender Publishing Company when they have books coming out, and for SkyWatch Television, even though I'm often also the guy sitting in the host chair, and I'll tell you to watch a trailer, a lot of times it's actually my voice behind the trailer. The other question that I'll get is, do I use voice effects? Do I do pitch shifting, or is it actually me doing the voiceover? And to that I would answer, there are no effects. I thought it would be fun, but first I got to tell you this story here. So in 2006, this guy in Central Oregon, back when I lived in Oregon, had a place called TKO Computers. His name was Todd. So Todd, I have no way of knowing where you're at these days. I wish you well. If there's a chance that you're watching this, thank you very much for building me just a stellar PC. This is the original 2006 voiceover build, and frankly I've never updated it because it's still a fabulous machine. And here's the secret. How do I keep this old computer going? I pulled the modem out of it. It cannot be updated. It cannot go online. It cannot interact with viruses or download buggy software. So every time I turn it on, for the last almost 20 years now, 18 years, it wants to tell me that it needs to go on the internet to update Windows, what I believe is Windows XP or Vista or something to that effect. But anyway, it still has the disk drive. I've produced many albums on this old PC. And yes, even though I could buy a brand new iMac and dedicate it to specifically doing voiceovers, I still use the old 2006. I have been a Jewish rabbi. I have been an old English librarian. I've been monster truck guy.
This Sunday, when you order your tickets early, you'll receive an extra super bucket of cotton candy, but you've got to order quickly.
I've been so many different things and so many different characters on this old machine. And I use the same, this is way pre-SkyWatch, come on in. I use the same Audio-Technica microphone that I've used for all 18 years. So I've performed songs and voiceovers, and it's a very simple setup. It only has to do one thing: do a great job recording a voiceover. And I thought it would be fun, since I'm digging through this archive, and I don't remember what a lot of these files are, but just for fun, I'm going to just grab, snatch, and play some of these so that you can hear whatever I might have been up to whenever I recorded them. So this is a total blind reaction. Here we go.
Of the new age. In recent years, an insidious force has methodically infected much of institutionalized Christianity. An ancient occultism, once recognized as perilous by the fathers.
It makes me wonder if some of you watching will remember what trailer that is, because frankly, I can't remember. I'd have to listen to more of it and then go back to compare. Let's see what else we've got.
For that day will not come.
For that day will not come. So we've been an English librarian.
And as the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance, and understanding dark
ways. Let's see what else we've got.
Lights in the heavens have...
This was one of my favorite. I want to say it was for The Great Deception, but this was one of my favorite voiceovers, because it was one of the times where I almost got to do kind of almost a modern take on what you would think of as a video game trailer. It was more modernized, not to be so sensational, but more of just a a caricature of a guy who has suffered the apocalypse. Maybe he left this on a cassette tape. It's his memoir. It's his last thoughts before the world basically burned and was judged.
Lights in the heavens have been understood as omens of important coming events. They've been seen as the messengers of the gods, but others recognized
And then, of course, probably at some point we became Ultra Guy again.
cannot be stopped, and it's carrying the secret.
All right, let's see.
It's a scheme hidden in plain sight, but
More Englishman.
Was cast into the sea.
I did some voiceover work for Terry James. He wanted me to read varying scriptures and stuff.
To the error of Balaam for reward, and
That was what that was.
our huge selection of stand-up arcade games.
Oh my goodness. That was a joke project. I don't know if you guys remember the 90s, but everything got sold with that one guy that's just super ramped about everything.
Amazing arrangement of extreme pinball machines.
Oh boy. Let's see what else.
from attackers, striking, grappling.
Martial arts commercial. What else?
And as the transgressors are
The final American president. Nearly 2,500 years have elapsed.
I believe that was Legion. But anyway, I just wanted you to see this, and we are getting ready to lay down another one today for what will be my father's last book. Before we go, I should introduce you to Benjamin. Benjamin hangs out with me at every one of these events, and I get the approval from old Benjamin. It's an inside joke. My wife bought it for me, and I had to leave it here in my personal studio. Now, you may notice behind me here that I have this stack of CDs, and you might be thinking, who uses CDs anymore? Well, guess who uses them? Joe Horn. Do you know why? Because this computer, as I mentioned earlier, does not go online. So when I'm done with my voiceover, to get it off of this machine, what I actually have to do is use the disk drive, if it'll open, burn to a CDR, make it a data CDR. I then move it over to my iMac, and I use my disk drive to move it to something I can then email it to myself through. Testing, okay.
The world is not ready for what is coming. Dr. Thomas R. Horn, Joe Artis Horn, Allie Anderson. This explosive new work comes March 2024 from Defender Publishing.
To my perfect son, keep thinking for yourself, Dad.
It's in the hands of men and women just like you and I. And folks, I'm going to tell you something, and you hear me because this is a prophecy. If America does not wake up and teach its children to read, and teach its children to write, and teach its children to think, but most especially teach its children to pray and to honor God, we will have a dictator in this country in less than 50 years. I prophesy it will come to pass. I'm a student of history, and I see the progress that we're making towards dictatorship here in the United States of America.
So I'm just going to read to you just a few of the sermon series titles and the names of the sermons so that you can get a taste of what my dad was talking about.